guys, it's me. I'm going to be doing my bookshelf tour. This is my second time to film it, actually, so hopefully it goes better this time. I am going to be actually not saying the author's names just because last time the video was like 30-something minutes long. So hopefully with me not saying the author's names and just showing the front cover so you can read it will be a lot better so that you don't have to sit through a 30-minute long video. And yeah, so if you've read any of the ones I say I haven't read yet, please let me know in the comments below if I should read them soon or not. There are some that I've been on the fence about why I purchased them and if I should read them or not. So yeah, just let me know what you think and I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So my first bookshelf, it actually doesn't have that much on it. But my first one is Soulless. It's a book that a book club that I'm in has picked to read for the next month, and it's a sci-fi. And then the next one is Nevermore. It's the last in the Maximum Ride series. I'm going to be reading this one really soon because I meet him on September 14th, and I just can't wait. And then this is Shadow of Nights, a sequel to A Discovery of Witches. If you like historical fictions, I think you would enjoy this series. This is an adult fiction book. But it was kind of slow in parts, the first one. I haven't read this one yet, so that's why I haven't picked up this one yet, because it took me so long to read the other one. But if you like historical fictions, I think you would enjoy it. This is Wild. This was an Oprah book club pick, and I really enjoyed it. It's a nonfiction. If you like to hear about people's real life stories, I think you would really enjoy this one because it was really entertaining. And this is The Host. A lot of you probably have already read it or at least seen it. And I've had this copy since the book came out, since the book came out, and I just, for some reason, have never picked it up. But since the movie's coming out soon, I will be reading this one. I've heard really good things about it. And then this is The Night Circus. My sister's read this one and she really enjoyed it, so I'll probably be reading this one soon as well. And then my next bookshelf is my to be read shelf. And so the first one is Unraveling, then Of Poseidon, Where It Began, and then Michael Vey, the first one. The second one just came out on Tuesday. The False Prince, Everneath, The Scorpio Races, The Emerald Atlas, The Fault in Our Stars, Glow, When the Sea is Rising Red, Incarnate, Graceling, For Darkness Shows the Stars, and this is actually a retelling of Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility, Shadow and Bone, Seraphina, A Temptation of Angels, Insignia, Legend, The Princess Bride, and Grave Mercy. I'm actually going to be reading Grave Mercy next. I just finished The Knife of Never Letting Go. And then my next shelf looks like this. And so I have the Twilight series. I have Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. And then I have The Hobbit. For some reason this is in here instead of on my other shelf. And then I have Moonglass and In Honor by Jessie Kirby. I really like her books a lot. They're contemporary fictions. They're really good. And then Daughter of Smoke and Bone. The sequel to this one comes out pretty soon, I think, sometime this fall. Across the Universe. Awaken. The sequel to this one comes out in November, and I really enjoyed this first one. So if you haven't read it, you should really read it. It's a dystopian. It's really good. The Future of Us. Beauty Queens. Fateful, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Shatter Me. This sequel also comes out this fall. The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight, Anna and the French Kiss, Immortal Rules. I actually haven't read this one yet. I'm really excited to read it. I just for some reason haven't picked it up yet. The Selection, and I've actually done a book review on this, so if you would like to watch that, I'll link it below. Such a Rush by Jennifer Eccles. I absolutely love her books, but most of them are actually on my e-reader. Cinder, Soulbound, Hush Hush. I haven't read this one yet either. I've heard good and bad things about it, and I picked it up a long time ago and just never got around to it because then I started hearing such negative things. So if you've read this series and enjoyed it, please let me know. And then my next shelf looks like this. I have The Iron King, The Iron Daughter, The Iron Queen, and The Iron Knight by Julie Kagwa. I actually haven't read The Iron Knight yet. Then Paranormalcy and Supernaturally by Kristen White. Anna Dressed in Blood. The sequel just came out like 2 weeks ago. Abandoned and Underworld by Meg Cabot. Nightshade. I actually haven't picked up the others in the series just because I absolutely love the slipcover and I can't figure out why they changed it with the rest of the series, and so they don't match. So I will eventually get them because I want to read the rest of the series, but I just can't talk myself into it yet. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, the sequel to this one comes out this fall as well, so be looking for that if you liked that one. And then Heist Society and Uncommon Criminals. Unearthly and Hollowed. And then The Goddess Test and Goddess Interrupted. I haven't actually read this one yet, but I've heard it's good, and I really liked the first one. Throne of Glass. I just did a review on this one as well, so I'll link that below as well if you would like to see it. Redeeming Love. This one's really good if you haven't read it. Jessica's Guide to Dating on the Dark Side and Jessica Rules the Dark Side. And then Fallen, Torment, and Passion. I actually haven't read this series. I've heard good and bad things. I just, for some reason, I've never gotten around to it. So let me know if you really enjoy the series and I will try to read it soon. My next bookshelf looks like this. And this is the 8th and 9th in the Riley Jensen Guardian novel series. It's a sci-fi series. It's an adult sci-fi, and it actually has a lot of adult material in it, so know that going into it. But I love this series. The rest of them are on my other bookshelf. These I just haven't read yet, so they're in here. And then The Lion Game, A Game of Thrones. I haven't read this one yet either. I'm really excited to pick it up soon. The Search for Wondala, Clarity and Perception, A Need So Beautiful, Between Shades of Grey, Stolen, everything just fell over. The Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. There's several in the series. I only have the first 3, Dragonfly and Amber and Voyager. I'm in the middle of the second one. And then Angel Burn. This lower shelf, it just has a lot of really random things. The top 2 here by Meg Cabot, they're actually my sisters, and so I've read Queen of Babel, but I haven't read these 2 yet. And then Tempest Rising and The Reckoning were purchases that I got at Half Price Books, and I didn't realize that The Reckoning at the time was the 3rd in that series, and so that's why I haven't read it yet. And Tempest Rising, since it was so cheap, is why I got it, but now I just haven't been able to talk myself into getting it. And sorry, my cat keeps pushing on my hand. And then this is my, these are all the books that I've gotten recently. I'm going to be doing a haul really, really soon. So I'll show you those in my next video. The top shelf on the other side looks like this. And I have the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins, Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Mockingjay, and then I have Divergent and Insurgent by Veronica Roth. I actually haven't read Insurgent yet because I loved the first one, and I found out that the second one wasn't supposed to come out until May of 2013. Well, she just pushed it back even further until September of 2013, and so I just am going to wait and then read Divergent again and then Insurgent when the third one comes out, because, or maybe I'll read it sooner, but I just hate waiting so long in between sequels because I forget things, so I might just wait. Plus I've heard it ends in a cliffhanger. And then Wither and Fever by Lauren DeStefano. I love these covers. And then Scarlet, if you haven't read this, you should. It's Robin Hood retelling, and I really enjoyed it. Under the Never Sky, Star-Crossed, and Dreamless. My next shelf has all my Cassandra Clare books. There we go. And so I have the Infernal Devices series, Clockwork Angel and Clockwork Prince, City of Bones, which is the start of the Mortal Instruments series, City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, and City of Lost Souls. I actually haven't read this one yet because the City of Fallen Angels I wasn't a huge fan of, and so I just haven't been able to talk myself into reading it yet, but I will probably soon. And then she actually says on her website that you should read these three first and then this one, because the character is introduced in this one that you can read about in this series in the fourth one, and so it's good to have background. So the way she released the books is actually the way you should read them, even though they're technically two different series. And then Tiger's Curse, Tiger's Quest, and Tiger's Voyage. The fourth one comes out September 4th, and I'm really excited about it. I think that the series is really unique, and I really struggle with which brother I like better. Every book, it shows another aspect of one of the brothers. And then the Girl of Fire and Thorns. I really liked this book. It took me a little while to get into it, but the character, I've never seen a character grow so much in one novel, so I really enjoyed this book. Other Words for Love, Witch and Wizard by James Patterson, Wildfire, Hourglass, and Timepiece. I actually haven't read these two yet. I'm probably going to read them soon. I think I've said that about every book I haven't read yet. Born Wicked, the Demon King series, I love, or the Seven Realms novels, but I love this series. Demon King's the first one, Exiled Queen is the second, and Grey Wolf's Throne is the third, and the fourth comes out October 20-something. I cannot wait. My next shelf has a lot of, mostly just vampire books actually. I have Rochelle Mead's Vampire Academy series, Vampire Academy Frostbite, Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, Spirit Bound, and Last Sacrifice. If you have not read this series, go pick it up now. Even if you hate vampires, this is a very different twist to it. The first one's pretty good, but then they just pick up from there, and I think that you would really enjoy it. Then this is a spin-off series, Bloodlines, and then Golden Lily, that have some of the same characters from this series, but they're kind of still their own series, even though they're in the same world, and my sister has the second one, so that's why it's just the slipcover. And then this is my Charlaine Harris, or Sookie Stackhouse novels. True Blood is based off this series, and so it's Dead Until Dark, Living Dead in Dallas, Club Dead, Dead to the World, Dead as a Doornail, Definitely Dead, Altogether Dead, From Dead to Worse, Dead and Gone, Dead in the Family, Dead Reckoning, and Deadlocked. And then A Touch of Dead is a bunch of short stories with the same character. And then my next shelf is The Gathering, The Calling by Kelly Armstrong. I really like this series. And then Delirium and Pandemonium by Lauren Oliver. That series is really good as well. And then I haven't read this one, Rampant, but let me know if you think it was good and I should read it. My Life Next Door, I read this one this summer and I really enjoyed it. And then Shiver, Linger, and Forever by Maggie Stiefvater. And then this one just fell, Where She Went, which is the sequel to If I Stay, which I gave away. And then my next shelf is, it looks like this. And this is down like this because it's actually not mine. I borrowed it from a friend. And so then I have the Percy Jackson series, The Lightning Thieves, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian. And then I have his The Heroes of Olympus series, which the first one is The Lost Hero, and the second one is The Son of Neptune. But I haven't read this series yet. I just recently got these like a month ago, and I'm really excited because I've heard the series is really, really good. And then there's Artemis Fowl, the first one. I haven't read that one yet either. And then The Guardian, which is my favorite Nicholas Sparks book. And then The Last Song is probably my second favorite. But then I have Dear John, True Believer, Safe Haven, At First Sight, Best of Me, The Rescue, and then I just finished The Knife of Never Letting Go, which is not by him, it's by Patrick Ness. And Safe Haven is actually going to be turned into a movie soon. They're filming it right now with Julianne Hough, I don't know how to say her last name, and I almost said Tad Hamilton, Josh Duhamel, that's funny. My next shelf is mostly The Women's Murder Club by James Patterson. This is the last one, 11th Hour. Or it's not the last one, but it's the newest one. And then Guilty Wives by James Patterson, and Nevermore by, I actually have only read the first three, but my grandmother gave the rest to me because she's read them all. So for my next bookshelf, this is what it looks like. It doesn't actually have that many great books on it, to be honest, but it has a lot of Sophie Atkins Zella novels. I actually didn't like these two. Remember Me and Can You Keep a Secret, but I loved, my mom has it right now, I've Got Your Number. I thought it was really cute. And then I have the first in the inheritance cycle, Aragon. And then I got this, which is in the other room, the books are, but I got books 1, 2, and 3, and 4 last Christmas. And then A Lineage of Grace by Francine Rivers, Jesus for President, Passion for the Heart of God, Simple Obsession, Operation World, and then my Bibles. And then I have Terry Goodkind's Wizard's First Rule. I have Something Blue by Emily Griffin, Something Borrowed is First, Pretty Little Liars, Red Riding Hood, Playing Hurt, Vision in White, James Patterson's Along Came a Spider. It's the first in the Alex Cross series. A Discovery of Witches. I have The Host also in paperback, and I haven't read it yet, so that's kind of ridiculous. Water for Elephants. Janet Ivanovich's Stephanie Plum series. These are my grandmother's, but I'm going to read the 5th one next. I've read the first 4, and it's really, really good and funny. High Five and Hot 6. And then The Christmas Sweater, HRH, which I never finished. And then the next shelf is this. A lot of these I'm probably going to give away soon because I haven't read like many of these. Most of them were given to me. And I loved 19 Minutes by Jodi Picoult, or however you say her last name. It's so good, but I just never have gotten around to reading the others, and so I probably will just end up giving them away soon. And then The Pilot's Wife, The Last Summer of You and Me, Guilty Pleasures, Angels and Demons, Perception Point, Howl's Moving Castle, Confessions of a Contractor. This was like a random pickup a couple summers ago, and I never read it. P.S. I Love You, which is so much better than the movie. Dark Lover. This is a book of quotes on love. Paperback of City of Bones. The first in the Bones, the TV show that's called Bones. This is the first book in that series that the show is based off of, Deja Dead. Then Hilary Duff's Elixir. And these are all my playbills from different musicals that I've been to. So, yeah. And then this is the rest in the Carrie Arthur series. And then the rest on my shelf. These are the books I talked about earlier. They're really, really good. But again, like I said, adult content in them. And then Illwind and Heat Stroke by Rachel Caine. Another sci-fi series. And then Maximum Ride. This is where I have them. They'll probably be moved into the other room soon. And then The Girl Who Played with Fire, The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. I haven't read these two yet. I probably will read them this fall and winter because I love reading like suspense mysteries and The Winter by the Fire. And then the first in the Morganville Vampires bind-ups has Glass Houses and The Dead Girls Dance. The Adoration of Jenna Fox. And then I don't know why the Notebook's in here. I didn't even know it was. And then this is the bottom shelf. It has my husband's graphic novels. This is my last bookshelf. As I said, as I go through the bookshelves, I have less and less. So I will show you this now. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I don't know why I have this one in hardback, but or why it's in here by itself. But so I have The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and then I have a lot of bind-ups here. I have Agatha Christie's, an Agatha Christie bind-up, the Jane Austen novels. All of them are in this binding, and then The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, The Count of Monte Cristo, the really long version. At the time when I bought this one, I didn't know there was a shorter one. And then The Time Traveler's Wife. I'm actually not sure why it's in here with all of these. Pride and Prejudice, Agatha Christie's, and Then There Are None. It is so good if you haven't read this novel. I had to read it in 8th grade and thought it was going to be awful, and it was so good. And then Jane Eyre, Lord of the Rings. It has all 3 in this binding. Little Women, The Great Gatsby, Wuthering Heights, and then this is the shorter Count of Monte Cristo. And then up here I have the Page to Screen Harry Potter book. And then I have all my Harry Potters. And then down here I have the complete works of Shakespeare. I have Aragon, Eldest, Brissinger, and Inheritance. And then up here I just have The Game of Life, and then Chihuly, which he's an artist, and he does blown glass pieces and I absolutely love him. So this is a book with a bunch of his pieces. And then of course my husband has the Sports Illustrated, the football book, because he is the biggest football fan I think I've ever met in my whole life. So yeah. So that's my bookshelf tour. I hope that you enjoyed it. Sorry if it's choppy in any places. I'm still getting used to this editing thing. And yeah, let me know if you saw any books that I should read, and I will be doing my haul soon. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time. Bye!